So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
I'm just going to be very blunt when I just say this, and I mean everything that I'm going to say tonight in this podcast. The Manosphere has ruined this man's dream. Say it again. The Manosphere has ruined this man's dream. It's not only just the Manosphere, because I just titled my title that, but it's not only the Manosphere. Beta male men has ruined this man's dream. The mid-toe movement, which is men going their own way from women, wherever word thing they talking about, has ruined this man's dream. Red pill movement has ruined this man's dream. Passport bros has ruined this man's dream. So I know those of you who are listening to me right now, y'all trying to figure out how in the hell did the manosphere, the red pill, MGTOW, passport bros, beta males, how in the world, or in fact, how in the hell did we ruin this man's dream? Matter of fact, Kirby, you tripping, bro. You on one tonight, for real. Because you don't know what you're talking about. I know while me and y'all who are going to tune into this podcast, the very first thing that you're going to say to try to rebuttal what I'm going to present to you tonight is this. The very first thing you're going to say is it not Martin Luther King whole speech that he been talking about? Isn't this dealing with racism and discrimination? So if if the speech is talking about racism and discrimination, then how in the hell is us, the men that you're talking about, the manosphere, the mito, the red pill, passport bros, beta males, how in the world did we ruin this man dream? Tonight on this podcast, I'm gonna tell you how this happened. I'm gonna give you my perspective on it. And at the end of this, all I'm asking you to do is to listen to now not only what I'm saying, right? Like I'll fix this. But I want you to listen to not only what I'm saying, right? I want you to just consider the possibility of this, right? Just consider the possibility of this. And I want to challenge y'all who are part of this movement, the Manosphere, Red Pill, Midtoe, Passport Bros, even this behavior of being a beta male. I want to challenge y'all tonight on accountability. I really do. So, this is how Y'all ruined this man's dream. I want to first start off by saying this that y'all rebuttal on this, which I said before, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it again. Y'all rebuttal on this, stating that the whole point of Martin Luther King Jr. movement in his speeches was dealing with racism and discrimination. I want to let y'all know that y'all are absolutely correct about that. And I'm not discrediting it at all, period. That is actually a great rebuttal. But however, there's one key part of every last one Martin Luther King Jr. speeches that we tend to miss. We see the speeches about the racism and the discrimination, and all these things there. That's what we hear, but we don't hear the main key ingredients to every speech that he done ever did. The key ingredients to the speech is this: it is equality. Period. Once again, it is equality. Period. This is one of the main things that Martin Luther King was fighting for, was striving for, was equality. That's where it boils down to, is equality. Everyone wanted to be treated with dignity and respect, period. That's where it boils down to. Now, how the way the Manosphere and these other said groups ruined this right is because for the simple fact that they taken away equality. They're taking away the key ingredient of what he was talking about. So what I'm talking about this, whenever you men are a part of this group, the Manosphere, Red Pill, and all these other said groups, right? That is exactly what you're doing. You're taking away equality. You're basically saying that us men, we have a certain pride and we have a certain standard that we want to live by, right? And we do not want to include these said type of women. Let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. That is what y'all are talking about. Trust me, I know. I done listened to every last one of y'all podcasts talking about this. I done listened to all y'all different debates talking about this. I done seen all the TikTok videos and um um Instagrams and Facebooks and everything talking about this. So I know exactly what you're talking about and I know exactly what you're standing on. Where it comes down to is that y'all don't want to be affiliated with a said group of women. That's where it boils down to. Preferably with the black men, right? He don't want to be affiliated with the modern day woman. That's where it boils down to. And once again, I know that y'all gonna come with a rebuttal on this. That you're gonna say, urban. Well, what about the modern day woman behavior? What about this? What about that? You know they be doing this and that and that. Absolutely. I have talked about their behavior on my podcast several times. So I get it. I understand it. And that's me being not only a black man, but being a man, period. I get it. And I have been through that. I've been through dealing with modern day women. So I know exactly how the way y'all feel. But when we move into this movement to the saying, F women, I'm just going to do my own thing, that takes away the whole foundation of what Dr. Martin Luther King was talking about, which is equality. It takes that away, period. It is almost as though as being part of these type of said movements or these said cliques, right? It is almost as though as we are rehashing or reliving the things that they done went through back in the day. But even though what they was going through was discrimination from another race, but we are doing it in a whole nother level where we're not only discriminating based on color, and the color that I'm talking about is colorism. Let's be realistic, guys. A lot of us have a certain discrimination on certain women of a certain color. Let's be real about it. We call it colorism. Most of y'all men right now, if y'all had to choose between a dark skinned woman and a lighter skinned woman, guess who you're going to go with? You guessed it, lighter skinned woman. Let's be real. Lady Fresh, salute. Let's be real about it. You would go after that lighter skinned woman first. If you had a choice between a natural woman and a BBWs, if that's what y'all calling these modern men, calling them BBWs, these enhanced women, guess who you gonna go for? Them enhanced women. So you can see how me comparing and contrasting this, right, how it relates to the very foundation of every speech that Dr. Martin Luther King talked about. Where we as men are discriminating on our own women. And we sitting up here crying and crying and crying again, doing shows after shows, podcasts after podcasts, videos after videos, talking about I women. But the only thing that I do not see is the accountability part. We don't want to talk about the accountability part. We don't want to do that. We don't want to talk about the accountability. We don't want to create no solutions. All we want to do is be, I hate to say this, we want to be some little bitches and punks. I never seen this many weak men in my time because I'm so used to being around actual men, strong men. But now I'm just seeing a surge of all these weak beta men who sit up here crying like women, all hypersensitive, emotional. Then gonna literally, I'm tell y'all this. See the one. Let me give y'all this secret too. Those of y'all who are part of these groups, right? The Manosphere, the Red Pill, and all this stuff, right? Do y'all know y'all group is not new? Say that again. Do y'all know y'all group is not new? I'm gonna actually do a show to talk about this. I'm gonna do a separate show to talk about this, but I'm gonna reveal it to you as an Easter egg. Y'all group is not new. You want to know what was the name of y'all group originally? And y'all want to know the original media who introduced y'all group? Let me tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna actually do a separate show talking about this. Dead serious. Y'all original group wasn't named the Manosphere. Y'all original group wasn't named Red Pill. Wasn't named Men Go Their Own Way. Wasn't named Passport Bros and none of that stuff. You want to know the original name of y'all group? The original name of y'all group is called the He-Man's Woman Haters Club. Kid you not. The He-Man's Woman Haters Club. And y'all know where they came from, right? The Little Rascals. The damn Little Rascals. That show and that movie first introduced the whole concept about this modern day manosphere. The whole motto of the Little Rascals and the He-Man Woman Hater Club is that they didn't want no women allowed because women were weird. They had cooties and all this other weird stuff that they was talking about. That's where it originally came from. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all group is not nothing new. It's nothing new. All y'all did is modified it and call it a manosphere. That's all y'all did. But even then and even now, it still holds to the point that there is certain type of accountability that must happen. And I don't hear that from none of us. Well, me, of course I am, but I'm rarely hearing it from other people where they talking about the accountability. I never heard that. All we doing is constantly crying and complaining about what these women doing to us. Oh man, Urban, these women, man, I met this woman on IG. I talked to her, I jumped in her DM, Urban man, and shoot, man, yeah, I flew her out to Toronto, and guess what she did to me? What she did to you, bro? Oh man, you won't believe it, bro. I flew her out and she wouldn't even let me smash. I don't know why she think we was gonna do nothing. I was spending all this money on her. See, that's what's wrong with these women. And I'm like, oh, for real, bro. Yeah, that's what's wrong with them. That's why I'm just gonna go my own way. Man, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna go international. I'm gonna find me some other woman. Like, oh, for real, bro. Yeah. Then I'm like, bro, don't you think that your behavior wanted that to begin with? No, 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 Urban, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong. How am I wrong? Because you the one who choosing that woman. You. You're you the one who made that choice. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about the choices that you make or choices that these men make. That they sit up here and pick and choose these type of women. Like I said before in my other one podcast, right? They will literally bypass the normal average woman, right? They will literally bypass the normal average working woman to jump in the DMs of these IG women. They sit up here and complain when these women use and abuse them. Will literally complain about it. But you're the one who chose it. To my understanding, right? And I believe that a lot of y'all who part of the Manosphere and these said groups, right? I believe y'all will agree to me on this. But isn't it not the man who is the as y'all say, the hunter, right? Is it not the man who go out and pursue the woman, right? Unless something to change, unless I done miss something, right? Is it not the men who go out and pursue the woman? So therefore, if it's our responsibility to go out and pursue the woman, is it also our responsibility to pick and choose a suitable woman? Right? I'm just trying to bring some logic and common sense to this. Is it not our responsibility to go out and choose the woman who's going to be perfect for us? Not based on her looks, not based on her having a big booty or having enhancements or anything like that, but it should be based on the quality of the woman. Like I said before, we should be going out for the quality of the woman and not the quantity, not how many women we could smash within a given time period. I mean, come on, fellas, let's take accountability on this. Let's be realistic about it. Reason why I could speak about this is because I used to be in that space. I'm not gonna sit up here cap on y'all. I used to be in that space. While I used to go out for the quantity of the woman instead of the quality. Yes, I did it. Been there and did that. But it had to come to a point of time where you start realizing that, man, this stuff that I'm doing, that ain't what it is. It had to come to a point where you start You start evolving, you know what I'm saying? You start maturing and stuff instead like, man, look, I'm sitting up here creating all these broken women based on my behavior or what I'm choosing to do. Going around and sleeping with women, a woman after woman. And the topper about this is that I did it before, and there are men who are doing it right now. Where we sit up here literally lie to these women. Say it again, we literally lie to these women. We lie to these women and say that, hey girl, you know what I'm saying? If you let me hit and stuff, yeah, I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna put a ring on your finger. I'm gonna take care of you. All these different lies. Knowing good and well we ain't gonna do that. Knowing good and well the end goal is just for us to smash. Let's be real about it. Let's be real. Lies after lies. The next thing you know, oops, got that same girl pregnant that you didn't want to get pregnant. But it's the girl fault. It's that woman's fault. This the crazy part about it. It's the woman's fault. It ain't our fault because we slept with that woman and decide to nut up in that woman and in a procreator woman. It ain't our fault. You know? I mean, it's not our fault doing it. It's the woman's fault. And now the newest thing why we say it's the woman's fault is because a woman says their body, they choice, so meaning that it's their fault. They choose to have a child, and I told her to abort that child. Am I being real or what? But we don't want to take accountability for our part of being men about that. Then when that woman use and abuse you, woman put you on child support, or you'll sit up here and simp around and be a beta man and simp around and marry that woman, right? Knowing good well that woman was screwed up from the beginning, you want to marry her anyway. Eventually, that woman see that she got better options than you, then divorce your tail. Then you're on child support. Then some of y'all, depending on what state you live in, you're on alimony, and now you're a bitter ass man. And so within this group, this manosphere, I kid y'all not, by me analyzing and looking and listening to the things that they talk about and the things that they're saying, shows after shows, podcasts after podcasts, everything, right? Came up to this conclusion that it is nothing but some bitter ass hurt men who are part of these groups because of the women that they choose to either procreate with or they just decide to have sex with, and they manipulated them and used them. All it is some bitter, beta hurt men. That's what all it is. And all of it. The manosphere, the red pill, all of it is just some bitter, beta hurt men who haven't took the time out to heal, who haven't took the time out to not only forgive their woman, but also forgive themselves, put their own self accountable for choosing that woman and letting it go and do better. So we have lost our way, man. I'm just on here to tell you about it, to show you the problem, because we've been talking about this problem for the longest, and I'm just damn tired of hearing it. Tired of hearing their excuses. All I want to hear is accountability and solutions. That's it. And I honestly believe that us as men, we have literally lost our way for real. And it's getting worse because we're breeding up new generation of men to do the same as that thing. We have literally lost our way. We are literally, if we continue on this pace, we're literally sitting up here constantly spitting this man, Dr. Martin Luther King, speeches that he ever did, talking about equality. We just spitting it in his face every single time for the simple fact that we're not in our proper place as being men, as being leaders, as being providers and being protectors, leading by example and showing even the women that, hey, even though things happen, even though you make certain choices in your life, make certain mistakes in your life, there's a way to overcome that. There's a way to be better. And it's through proper healing. And this is where I circle back around and saying that even men, and I believe more so men than women, need therapy for real. I honestly believe that in my heart that men more so than women need therapy. We could argue and say that all of us need therapy. We could argue that too. We certainly can. But preferably, from my perspective, I believe the men need more therapy than anything because we done been through so much as men. Even growing up as men, we done been through a lot of bull crap as men. Our fathers taught us the wrong way, taught us about being a man is going around and treating women like they're property instead of treating them equal. And this is the whole point. And this is the whole point about the the movement, the equality movement, is because the men in this country were treating the women instead of them treating them as human, that was treating women as property. Let's be real about it. Treating them as property. But now we have these modern day men, like, hate to say it, God rest Kevin Samuel's soul, men like Kevin Samuel and all these other men who part of these group, O'Shea Deuce Jackson, MTR, and all these other people who are part of this Manosphere Red Pill movement and stuff, right? Sitting here teaching all the wrong stuff. And on top of that, these dudes are beta like it ain't nothing. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. These dudes are beta like it ain't nothing. Then when it comes to the part about accountability and doing better for yourself, they don't want to hear that. They want to shift the blame to the women every single time. And that's, to me, being a man, to me, that is weak as hell. That is weak as hell. Gentlemen, we got to do better. We got to do better for our personal sake, but we also got to do better for our legacy sake as well, too. Because if we continue on this course, continue on this course with all this negative behavior, right? Continue on this course of treating these women like they just property instead of treating them like they human. If we continue this course, our legacy is gonna be fucked up for real. Like, I mean, like for real. It is gonna be so messed up for them. While we all dead and gone in our graves, well, we don't have to deal with the bull crap no more, right? Our legacy gonna be left here to deal with this. And we're literally sitting up here creating a whole life for them. Once again, is it not the man's duty to provide and to protect as well too? Is it not our sacred duty to do that? If that be the case, if that be the case, we're not doing a hell of a good job doing it by being part of these little said movements, manosphere, whatever you want to call this dumb shit that y'all in. We're not doing a good job at it because we're not providing and protecting anything. You may think that you are by encouraging younger men to go their own way, by encouraging younger men to as they get up in age to get passports and go and sleep with other women from another country, but not encouraging them to work on their behavior, not encouraging them to look out for certain type of women. We're not saying that. Not saying that at all. Young man, go your own way. Sleep with as many women as possible. but not these women in America. They have these dudes who's part of this manosphere who's co-signing this. These dudes are married to these women or divorced to them or both. So we are creating trash. So it's time for us to start growing up, man. It's time for us to start putting away all this childish stuff that we doing. It's time for us to start moving as men. It's time for us to make good decisions, not based on your emotions or your feelings, even though some of y'all don't be talking about, well, I'm a man, I don't really have all these emotional feelings. That was something that Kevin Samuels used to say all the time. Stuff. And I used to look at that fool crazy and laugh at him. He'll sit up here talking about, we're men. Men ain't emotional. Nigga, you a damn lie because you're emotional. A matter of fact, you are hypersensitive because of due to what happened to you in your past, dealing with women. Let's be real about it. Now, once again, God rest Kevin Samuel's soul. I don't dislike Kevin Samuel as a person. I never did. It is the things that some of the things that he talk about, it wasn't beneficial. That was my number one argument. Whenever I did reviews on Kevin Samuel, is that the things that he talking about, some of well, actually a lot of stuff he was talking about wasn't beneficial. But it was some few things that I did agree with him on. I could rock with him on. But all this other stuff, nah, did not help at all. This man is long gone, passed away, and guess what? The men are still in the same situation as those, if he was still alive, but he gone now. Same situation. Nothing haven't changed. And the reason why it haven't changed is, like I said, based on how the way he was saying, instead of challenging accountability and solutions for us as men, to start being real about it. Like, these men, they'll sit up here calling this dude the Godfather stuff. Instead of this dude really being a father to them for real and just being real about them and telling them the truth. Hey, we all done messed up. It is us, gentlemen. We sit up here choosing these women. We did that. And furthermore, sitting up here diving deep into the problem is that the men prior before us did this to these women to make these women into the situation that they're in right now, into the emotional behavior that they're doing right now. Like I stated on my shows before, the reason why the modern day women are in the condition that they're in right now is because of evolution. These women got so sick and tired of us as men not being in our proper place, us sitting up here being hypersensitive and being betas instead of being leaders and providers and protectors for them. They had to evolve for survival. So they end up becoming that very thing that the same type of segment as I was saying earlier was going out and sleeping with women. And so now it's the women doing the same as that thing. That's basically what happened. The women doing the same as that thing. Well, now the women are acting like these same type of men, where they just finding dudes and they just using them and bruising them, sleeping with them. They just getting what they get out of them because they don't want to be hurt. Because that's what it boils down to. Nobody don't want to be hurt, which is rightfully you should feel that way. But in order for you to avoid being hurt, in order for you to avoid being bitter, is for you to take accountability of yourself and change you. That's where it starts at. That's where it starts at. No more of these excuses. No more of these finger pointings. It's time for you to start taking accountability for you. Back around in the 1960s and stuff, right? And I'm on close with this too. But back around in the 1960s and stuff, right? One thing that we can all agree upon is that all the men were in unity together for a common goal. We could furthermore agree that not only all the men were in unity for a common goal, but all the women were as well too. And we could all agree that the men in the women during that time were all in unity for the common goal. And the common goal was not dealing with discrimination and racism and stuff like that, but the end resort goal that Dr. Martin Luther King talked about was equality. This word boils down to is equality. So I'm calling for us today, men. I'm calling for us today on Martin Luther King Jr. birthday for us to start taking accountability for our personal behaviors. It's time for us to start looking back at our bloodline, looking back at our predecessors before us, and understand that the things that they did to the women back then was not acceptable at all, and that's what caused that behavior. And it's time for us to accept that, to accept our predecessors' role in that, and how the way they brought us up. It's time for us to accept that. It's time for not only us to accept that, it's time for us to take accountability for that. It's time for us to get rid of that. It's time for us to be time for us to start unlearning everything that our fathers before us done taught us. It's time for us to start unlearning all that and relearn all over again, so we could be back in the proper place of being men. And I guarantee by nature, I guarantee that if us as men, we fix ourselves and we start moving in the right direction, by nature and by evolution, the woman would do the same. I guarantee we would not have no more problems dealing with modern day women, using and bruising you and doing all this weird stuff. I guarantee that it won't happen. I guarantee that the divorce rate will one. I guarantee that. But it starts with us. So, man, are you really willing to walk with me on this journey as I'm doing this also within myself and my personal life? Are you willing to walk with me on this journey? This journey of bettering yourself. This journey of being the best man possible for your legacy's sake. Even for all these home women out here sake too, so they could look at us. And for the first time in a long time, these women could look at us and say, damn, that man is truly is my leader. That man is truly is my king. And I don't mind submitting to it because I trust him 100% that he's going to lead me to the best of his ability. He's not going to do nothing that's going to damage me physically, mentally, or spiritually. So will you walk with me, gentlemen? Only time will tell.